Welcome to Mom Matters. I'm your host, Alyssa Dver. In the next 10 easy-to-watch minutes, we're going to give you very practical tips for productive parenting. And the topic we're going to be discussing today is sex and the kiddies. How and when and why to talk to your kids about sex. And joining us is an expert in this area, Dr. Kristen Eckler. She's an obstetrician and gynecologist at Massachusetts General Hospital. You also are a parent of 2 children, ages 6 and 9.
That's correct.
So you know firsthand this topic really well. No kidding. Why should we talk to our kids about sex to begin with?
You know, this is a toughie, but it's so important. It's probably one of the most important conversations a parent's going to have with their child. There is no greater influence than a parent on a child. And you really want the opportunity to present this information and your family's values, your information about health, relationships, love, safety. And keep in mind, kids are curious. They are going to be getting this information. So you really want to take the opportunity to give them the information the way you want it to be heard. And again, with the family values that you think are important for your house. Keep in mind, the kids will get the info. They will get it from the playground to the back of the bus. So
They're getting it from you.
I encourage parents to jump right in.
Well, how old should they be before we start having this conversation? What's the ages that we should start talking to them about it?
You know, really don't think of it as a limit. You can start at all ages. When your toddler's asking you about body parts and names, that's actually the beginning of a sexual discussion about sexual health and well-being. So I really would encourage parents not to shy away. Whether it's a toddler, a preschooler, a school-age child, or a teen, they're going to ask you different kinds of questions, but really that's the whole heading that they are looking at, is sexual development, health, and well-being. Certainly, if you haven't had the chance to jump into this by the time a child hits puberty, then you really need to get going. That's the time where the body is changing, the hormones are changing, these issues are coming to a front, and that's really the time where you want to put your stamp on that developmental process. A lot of my patients tell me that the car is the ideal time to get into this because neither you nor the child can escape.
I can't escape. And you also don't get to look each other face to face and get embarrassed.
There's an extraordinary power in being able to deflect that, so it's really a great time to start.
So whether you're in the car or you're at home, how do you even approach the subject with a child?
Really what I encourage parents to do is have no fear about it. This can be so stressful for parents. Where a lot of the fear comes from is people think that by having this discussion, they're really opening the door for behavior. And the nice thing is we now have 2 decades of research that show that having this kind of conversation really does not initiate sexual activity on the part of the child. What you are doing, though, is you're arming that child with information. And there are studies that show that when a child then does become sexually active, he or she really has the ability to make healthy, wise, and safe choices. So really, don't be afraid. I would encourage parents to be honest.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's okay if your child knows this is hard for you. That's real emotion.
It's part of life.
It's part of life. They should know that parenting is not easy. That's okay too.
So what do you say to your child? Let's talk about sex, or any quick tips?
You know, I don't think there's any one right way, but what I would do is encourage people to be prepared. So you might want to go to the library, get a book with some words, and practice. Practice with your partner, practice with a family member, practice with a friend.
Oh, even that sounds hard.
It makes it a little easier though, because then you have some words and you kind of know where you think you want to go. So really there is no one size fits all, but I would say let it reflect who you are and what you're comfortable with.
Okay, now speaking of words, use the actual words, the clinical words, or I know a lot of people have their own set of words. What do you suggest?
You know, don't confuse the child. Life is confusing enough.
It is.
And children already know there's something different about down there. They know boys and girls are different from a very early age. Stick with the clinical terms. You're never going to be wrong doing that. And that way the child has some language to work with that all people understand. And your child will therefore just be able to communicate that much better and have the confidence. And that will come through in your conversation. You'll be less embarrassed.
Excellent. Well, I know that I would be embarrassed a little bit talking to my child, and I'm sure they are too. So I'm going to take a quick break right now, because what I want you to talk about when we come back is what is a good reaction or maybe not such a good reaction from a child receiving the information.
Absolutely.
We'll be right back.
Please Stop the Roller Coaster, How Parents of Teenagers Can Smooth Out the Ride, is a discussion group program designed for parents. In addition to the parents' book, the program can be complemented by secular, Christian, or Jewish leaders' guides. With expert advice, Please Stop the Roller Coaster will help parents improve communication with their teens to help them avoid risky behaviors. Learn more and download free excerpts at www.pleasestoptherollercoaster.com.
Welcome back to Mom Matters. We're here with Dr. Eckler talking about when and how to talk to our kids about sex, a tough topic to talk about in interview form, let alone with our kids. All right, so we finally engage our children. We get those books and other information. We're all prepared. We have a conversation. What is a typical reaction or a good reaction from a child that they're getting it, they understand, and what's not such a good reaction?
You know, the response that you're going to get is as varied as the children themselves
Yes,
and as the
afraid you're gonna say
ages.
that.
Exactly. And there really is no right or wrong. Your child could have everything from total horror to the giggles to dead stone silence, which is probably the most common response. However, don't give up. Just because your child's not necessarily responding to you yet doesn't mean that your message is not getting through. So I really encourage parents to persevere. Just keep going. If you think you need a break, that's okay. No one says you have to cover every single detail the first go round. In fact, it's probably better if you don't. What you're really doing is opening the door for communication. You're letting your child know that you're there. You are a resource. You are part of their life.
Okay, now you said first time around, so it sounds like sometimes when I have to get them to try new vegetables, I have to put it multiple times.
Absolutely.
Is that the same thing here? We have to have a conversation. You think more than once?
I would. And I don't think it's something that fits on a calendar, like every 6 days it's time to redo it. But at the
Well, it's time
same
to have a conversation.
Yes, but you know, as a child goes through puberty, that experience is so individual, and they're going to hit so many different developmental levels. And this is the art of parenting. You're going to know when your child seems to be in a new phase, an older phase, maybe asking different kinds of questions. You're going to tailor your comments a little bit differently.
Okay, now if a child's not asking you questions specifically, what are the other signs we can look to know that they really need to have a conversation, they're interested in the topic?
Right. Again, I would really come back to that puberty marker. When you start seeing outside signs of physical change, you know the internal signs are going on already.
Okay.
So it's at that point, you really need to give the child some hardware, so to speak, as to how to handle what their body is doing. Why is it doing that?
Great. Well, interesting information you've given today, but I'm sure parents are going to have lots more questions, so suggested resources that you think would provide great additional information.
Absolutely. Never overlook your library. They have wonderful resources, picture books, age-appropriate books. They're also helpful to give the parents some language on how to start with this. The internet. Teens love the internet. Great sources from the American Academy of Pediatrics, which is aap.org, and the American College of OBGYN, or acog.org. Fantastic stuff. And then don't overlook the local hospitals. Here in Boston, we have massgeneral.org, which has fantastic information from their hospital for children. And Children's Hospital Boston has a great site for young women. In fact, it's called youngwomenshealth.org.
Okay, so that's a good thing. Our viewers are from all over the country, so please be sure to check out local hospitals in your area.
Absolutely.
I want to thank you so much for being here. Important topic, great information. Thanks for sharing it all with us.
It's a
And
pleasure.
I also want to thank our viewers.
Thank you.
We're going to close today's show by reminding everyone to visit our website, which is www.mom-matters.com. There you're going to find information about all our previous shows as well as information on upcoming shows. So thanks for joining us today on Mom Matters. This is Alyssa Dver giving you practical tips for more productive parenting.